Keto is another fad and you're doing irreversible damage to your body. This is the opinion of my immediate family and nothing I can say or do has convinced them otherwise. It's obvious that I'm in the best shape of my life, with an abundance of energy, and they won't budge. Have you experienced this before? And if so, how have you been able to win someone over? Don't argue. Just let the results speak for themselves. Arguing diets is like arguing politics and religions. Nobody is ever convinced, including ourselves. You do you. Let them do them. I don't care to win anyone over. My family is full of Debbie Downers and negative Nellies. When I'm fat, they got something to say. Then I'm thin, they got something to say. When I'm sick, they got something to say. When I'm healthy, they got something to say. Reached the point in my life when IDGAF. I have the last word. I just don't tell people at this point, lol, it's not worth the headache. Are we talking about other people's diets now? Because I have a lot to say. Fasting has never been so easier. I am 20 hours in and it's like I got the hunger, but it's not killing me. I can observe the hunger and go about my day. On a high-carb diet I would get headaches, weakness, lightheadedness, energy deficits. Fasting can be compared to a famine in a way because in both cases you don't eat anything. So if keto is supposed to help you handle these things better, then in my opinion it's the most optimal diet. Funny how when PPL were pigging out on candy, cake, other junk, no one said a thing. But now that you eat meat, poultry, green vegetables, nuts, seeds, berries, etc., you're gonna die. I don't talk about keto to people. But seeing is believing. If you're going to win anyone over. I told my friend I was thinking about starting keto. She scoffed and said the usual things. Then about 8 months later we go swimming and she looks at me and goes, "Wow, you look great." The next week she's texting me from Costco asking me for food advice. And then she and her husband lost a total of 120 pounds together. If you say you're doing keto, everyone has an opinion about it and it's usually negative. But if in response to "what have you been doing to lose weight?" you say "I've been going low carb, avoiding processed foods and sugar, and eating lots of veggies," they go, "Oh, okay. I can see that's working wonders on you. Good job on the weight loss." I have experienced it. And honestly, I cut him out. My former self-worth was based off of the opinions of these people and it's why it was so low. I found myself when I found keto and I won't let them take away my happiness. How have you been able to win someone over? The results just sort of spoke for themselves. My family can see that I'm less fat, less depressed, more motivated and more energized while on keto. Every dang day, my family members have numerous health issues, sleep apnea, high blood pressure, etc. They constantly eat crap and yet still lecture my wife on how my cholesterol is going to catch up to me when I'm older. My cholesterol is high. Yes. But it's going to be on keto. I feel great and look great, but no, they are nutritionists apparently. I stopped off today for 2 steaks and a shrimp cocktail for dinner tonight. Cashier gave me a strange look. I'm in the absolute best shape of my life. She looked like she has a hard time walking up a flight of stairs. Everyone has to find their own way of eating. I get this isn't for everyone. I just wish people would mind their own business about what anyone else eats. Ask them how the low-fat fad has worked wonders for Americans. Anyone who's ever tried to serve me a donut doesn't get to use this on me. I don't try to win over adults. I live by example. They can like it or lump it. Stop giving a fuck and get aggressive. They obviously don't give a shit about you actually being healthy, so something like, "You're right. I've lost X amount of weight so far. But I'll go back to your fat fuck diet starting tomorrow." Unless you are under 16 and they're over 30, tell them to shove it. I thank them for their concern, as I recognize it comes from a place of love. And then I politely, but firmly, change the subject. As an adult, I'm under no obligation to explain my dietary choices to my friends or family. I don't expect nor ask for special accommodations during meals gatherings, and instead make my own food to bring. Eat ahead of time, or fast. The first time refusing to engage on the topic can be difficult and/or uncomfortable. It gets easier. This is when you refuse to discuss it. Smile. And change the subject. I don't get this from my family. But there are things individual members are entrenched on. I have a list of subjects we can discuss. Movies with one. Books another. Gardening with another. Etc. You get the idea. I just steer the conversation to those topics. You mean eating the same way humans did for 50k years? There's a certain subreddit here where it's treated like Satan's brew. The only approved solution is no saturated fats, overnight oats and no alcohol. Jealously. It's always the least healthy that lecture me. And I answer back, this coming from you. You can't. I'm down 77 pounds, reversed my diabetes and high blood pressure, and my grandma still looks at me and goes, "Have you gained weight? Bitch. I'm down 3 sizes in clothes." I started keto because I found out I have a literal intolerance to carbs. I was sick, puking my guts up for no reason. I already had celiac and it felt exactly like that. Now I do a version of keto with very high protein. I'm about equal protein and fat, but went into ketosis in 2 days. It has given me my life back. Quite literally. Tell them about carb intolerance and how it leads to insulin resistance and diabetes. My friend of 10 years has the same issue. Bet they are fat. I never tell people I am following a keto lifestyle. No one can really argue with me saying I am not eating high carb or starchy foods, processed foods. I don't argue with ignorance. I simply eat foods that fit my eating plan. I am going out this weekend. The host is providing ribs and asked me to bring a salad. I am. With a side of chili lime prawns to go with it. I will eat salad and prawns, and chances are no one will notice or care I am not taking carby ribs. After all, there will be more for them. Actually, in order for keto to work, it's a lifestyle, not a diet or whatever people want to call it. There is a lot of scientific data proving that it works and is a healthy lifestyle choice. Funny how those that I know who want to criticize keto are obese and out of shape, taking the latest diet pill. Irreversible damage. Lol. Don't try to convince people of your diet. Just do what works for you and leave everyone else alone. Especially if you're young, you ain't convincing anyone that it's the diet. If you used the diet to beat old age, cancer and heart disease, then you may have an easier time convincing people. I tell them to politely mind their business. If they press a fuck off, typically follows. I like to trump energy, so if someone is being an asshole, I jump right to asshole times 4.